How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled Rowlet, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So, I'm recording this video after finishing up my 2 videos for the day, and guess what? We have more to talk about. I thought the day was over, but then we got some massive news coming to us from Centro, who basically posted an update. Our speculation has been confirmed, and he has some information about this thing right here. Now, you guys may not know this, but if you have watched my video on it, basically, the Pokemon Company has registered a new subsidiary company called Pokemon Works, and it's apparently going to be located in the same building as ILCA. We have no idea what this is about, but we can speculate that Pokemon Company and ILCA have been set up as a support studio to help Game Freak develop new games in the future. And guess what? It is confirmed, guys. It's basically confirmed now. So, update. Our speculation has been confirmed. The full list of directors of Pokemon Works, so that's literally that the company's called. The actual subsidiary is called Pokemon Works, which is a really weird name, I'm not going to lie, but nonetheless, though, it says directors of Pokemon Works have been revealed. So these are people that are going to be working there, high up in that company. And the first one is Takuya Iwasaki, a representative director of ILCA. So this is the person who currently is the representative director of ILCA. Takanori Soa, the director of the Pokemon Company, is going to be actually there. He's going to be one of the people working there. Masao Iuchi, which is the supervisor of local subsidiary Pokemon Shanghai Toys Co. Limited. So I guess this is going to be the one of the people involved with Pokemon Shanghai Toys Co. Ltd. Hiroshi Ijima, unknown, and Satoshi Takamori, director of ILCA. All these people will be involved in this, which is massive. The company's main business is contracted development of games related to Pokemon. It's confirmed, okay? It's confirmed. ILCA is officially a mainline Pokemon developer. So if this is something that makes you angry, or it is something that worries you, well, guess what? Sucks to suck. They're here to stay, guys. They're here to stay. ILCA is here to stay, which is crazy. So the company's main business is, like I said, contracted development of games related to Pokemon. So that means that they may have a contract to make a Black and White remake, a Johto remake, a whatever game. Like, they basically are going to be the company helping out Game Freak and more things like that. So, basically, this confirms that this is a joint venture between ILCA and the Pokemon Company. So they're going to be working together to do this. This is actually pretty similar of a situation to Bandai Namco's Aces. Now, this is actually a company that was formed between Bandai Namco and ILCA to support development of the Ace Combat series. So this is actually something they've done before, making a whole new company that's supposed to kind of like be there to be a subsidiary in between the big company and the small company that is ILCA, right? So ILCA is a small company. Bandai Namco is a big company, right? And they created Bandai Namco Aces Incorporated, right? Mission, engage emotion, achieve an emotional moving quality that makes people around the world, blah, 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 blah. You get the stuff, right? Like, it's a business thing, right? It's a business thing. But the funny part is that they've already done this once already, right? And Bandai Namco has a few bangers, has a few stinkers, you know, it's a 50-50 gamble. But here's the crazy part, right? So, the domain, PokemonWorks.Japan, has been registered by the Pokemon Company this month, so we should be getting an announcement soon. Now, I don't know if this announcement necessarily means we're going to be getting an announcement for a new game anytime soon. I don't know. Maybe this is just, you know, again, maybe the announcement of the actual website, the actual company being announced, which is massive. But Pokemon Works now has been registered. Like you guys can see here, this is the actual domain registration for this. As you can see, PokemonWorks.Japan. It's going to be registered by, you know, the Pokemon Company, the name Pokemon Company, and so on and so forth. Then somebody here asks, so is this a quality control company for future releases? No. This apparently is a new company that seems like it's got 2 potential objectives. 1, support the development of Game Freak's projects, or 2, lead development of smaller titles like BDSP, right? Which would make total sense. And he says, I think support development is just essentially quality control, which I don't know if that's the case, because again, remember, some of the stuff he mentioned up here is that they're going to be doing contracted development of games and games related to Pokemon, right? So basically, they're going to be doing contracts of anything, right? Creating a whole new game, working with Game Freak. Basically, they're going to be there for a little bit of everything. Working on mainline titles, maybe even spin-offs. Who knows? They're going to be just involved with all of that stuff, which is massive, by the way. That is a huge piece of information, which people were wondering, right? People were speculating, oh, maybe this is not related to, like, the games. Maybe it's related to the TCG or something. No, it's confirmed now. We 100% know that it's related to specifically the video games, which means that the chances of an ILCA game this year, an actual Pokemon game of this year, happening gets even larger. Because, okay, listen, I've heard from people on the inside, the things I've been hearing is the following. Pokemon kind of blindsided everyone, okay? Everybody got a bit blindsided with the Legends ZA announcement because inside of all the sources, okay, all of Ku's sources, all of Pioro's sources, right? Pioro is another leaker. He also heard from his sources about a Unova game. Soul Silver Art, his sources said the same thing. The people that I talked to privately said the same thing to me. Unova. As much as I hated it and didn't want that to be the case, I didn't hate Unova, but I didn't want a remake yet. They kept saying that's going to be happening. They kept saying that's what's happening. And then everybody got blindsided because Legends ZA was announced. But notice something about Legends ZA's announcement. There was no gameplay, which could imply, based on something that I was told, that maybe, and this is just a theory by the person who told me this, and I don't know if they want me to say their name, but they said that it's possible that Legends ZA only just recently started its development, right? It may have started like pre-production, right? Like actually designing the concepts and stuff way back, but the actual development of the game may not even be like, 20% along the way already. Like, that is a possibility, but I try not to assume that's the case. I would have hoped that the game's been in development for a long time, and maybe because of a lot of the stuff that's been happening in the community, that the anger about BDSP, the massive influx of controversy around Pal World and stuff, may have caused them to decide to drop the biggest possible thing they could drop, a Legend ZA game, a Pokemon Z game, basically, which is the biggest announcement they could have done, and it was super hype when it was announced. Like, everybody was excited. It was super out of the blue. But then also, it doesn't really match with Black and White, right? Like, it's two totally separate things. So, is it possible that just like every other remake game in the past, besides BDSP, because BDSP is the outlier, okay? BDSP is the only one that's a bit different, but every other remake game in Pokemon is usually announced in May or June. May or June is when they've always been announced. And I brought up this graph, and I'm going to do it again. I have an obsession with showing this graph on the screen, and I'm going to show it again. I say it's a graph, but it's not even really a graph. It's actually just a piece of text. But here, as you guys can see, Pokemon announcements for previous games usually end up being around May or June if they are third versions or remakes, right? So you guys can see right here, May 7th, 2014, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was announced. June 6, 2017, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were announced. May 30th, 2018, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee were announced. And then the only one that's different here, the only one that doesn't fit, is literally Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, which was announced on Pokemon Day. There's always a chance another game can be announced this year. Now, I know a lot of you guys, maybe you're newer fans, maybe you're newer people that don't understand these like release cycles and the information dumps and this stuff. But I've been doing this for long enough now that I know that they can drop shit at any point now, okay? They can drop new stuff. They can all of a sudden, like, remember, them announcing Pokemon Legends Arceus and BDSP together, two mainline games at once, is not common, okay? That's very much out of the norm. Like, that's not something they actually do. Like, that's not really in the realm of what they actually tend to do, okay? Like, it's very much out of the realm of usual, okay? Let's put it like that. It's not really something they tend to really be doing, okay? Like, just something I want to point out. Like, it's not something they often do. It's something that definitely they do not do, and it's not very common for them. So, please keep that in mind. Like, it's very much out of the realm of what they do. And again, they did it, right? They announced two massive games at once on Pokemon Day that time, which again, not something they normally do, but it made sense. Both those games were basically Sinnoh games, right? They were both Gen 4 based games, right? They were both on Sinnoh. Sure, it's Hisui, but it's still freaking Sinnoh, right? We all know it's Sinnoh still. So those two made sense together. But if they have a studio working on a Unova remake, right? And they have another studio working on, and they have themselves working on Legends EA plus Generation 10, it makes total sense that they would maybe split the two of them off, because this one, like the Unova remake, wouldn't even be by Game Freak. It would be by ILCA and Pokemon Works, a totally separate company, okay? ILCA and Pokemon Works. That wouldn't even be Game Freak's involvement anymore. Game Freak has nothing to do with that. That's outside of their, ballpark. It's something totally separate. And it would make sense. We get a new trailer later in this year, maybe around May or June. That trailer, presents or whatever. Maybe not even a presents. Maybe during a Nintendo Direct or just a regular trailer drop, they can just announce Pokemon Black and White remakes, and also they can announce some gameplay of Legends ZA. They can show it off finally. So that makes total sense, okay? It totally makes sense. Moving on, though, the big thing here that I also noticed from all these posts is also the fact that there is something else. Also, by the way, guys, just a bit shout out. I did already a video on this, but we can actually get your hands on Lico's Sprigatito right now. If you haven't already done that, I'd highly recommend it. The code is not very complicated. It is the following one right here. You guys can pause the screen. It's right here in yellow. And you guys can pause it and just write in the code. But let's move on to the other stuff, though. So basically, it turns out as follows, that there is going to be officially, and this is actually really surprising, but officially, based on sources, Pokémon Legends ZA will be the first Pokemon game to have the Latin American Spanish translation. They haven't heard anything about a Portuguese translation yet, but apparently that's happening. And so, yeah, this actually came out. I think they even posted this on their Central account, which we're going to see if we can find the official Central Pokemon account, because they tweeted this out there too, that apparently Pokemon is actually going to be doing it now. They're going to be coming to, they're going to be coming to translated to, I guess, Spanish and Latin American. So, just Latin American, literally. Is another way to put it. But that's going to be happening, which is actually big news for that community. I know they are all very excited about it. And they're going to be, they're going to be going all crazy about it, right? So they have new official names for the types in Pokemon, right? They have actually officially new names for it, which is kind of crazy. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of hype for them. And also, it doesn't even end there. Turns out that in Pokemon Go's version 0.305.0, it has a new Latin American Spanish localization in the file. So that's happening, which makes me wonder, the fact that this is all happening now, does this mean we're going to get even more news soon? Because there's a lot of stuff happening, guys. Remember, we have a lot of things happening all of a sudden, like out of the blue. We're having massive, giant drops of information, right? One, Pokemon Works has been registered. Doesn't even end there. There's even more. Like here, for example, breaking in the minute. Translation of Pokemon into Latin American confirmed. Finally, the Pokemon Company confirms that they're working on a translation for the main game specific to Latin America and includes new names of moves and even types. Bug type is now called Insect type in Latin American. Likewise, Fight type becomes Fight type. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's pretty much that. And then he says here that also, if we look right here, there's new move names, actually, for these Pokemon. As you guys can see, from ABC Boy, Goodbye to Embers, confirmed translation of Pokemon into Latin Spanish. It'll be used first in Pokemon Go, and list of all the new move names. So if you are Latin American, this is going to be hype for you. You got, your own custom names now. The rest of us in Europe are seething right now, because ain't no Swedish translations ever happening anytime soon, or anything for the Balkans. We're stuck with those English names, but it is fine. It's fine. But nonetheless, though, I want to go over here to my profile right now because there is some actual things that I think I missed to mention, because there was a post from one of the audience members who noticed something really, really cool, and it was from Marcelo here. So Marcelo actually made a post, and I want to see if I can find it for you guys so you can see it, but he may have deleted it. But he basically said the following. So there's a list of moves that got localized in LA, like Spanish, right? So Latin American Spanish. And in the translation, they actually figured out something really interesting, which is that the Tapus are maybe going to be in there because of the fact that they kind of made a reference to Nature's Madness in there. Now, I don't know if that actually means anything or if that's anything valuable from that, but I just thought I would bring it up anyways because it was a post that I saw. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, again, recapping the biggest thing here. And I think this is the massivest thing we could have ever gotten. And the last thing I expected to see anytime soon. Bloody hell. We actually have a new company. It's no longer just Game Freak. Now you have ILCA fully involved. You have a new company called Pokemon Works, a full new, studio involved with all into Pokemon. That is massive, okay? I know it might seem like a small thing to some of you, but it is a huge deal. We have been under, Game Freak's, fist and, under their control for such a long time. It's genuinely surprising to see a different studio coming in and actually, being involved. It is actually kind of crazy. And I'm curious to see, and this, again, tells me that a new Pokemon game has a high chance of showing up in 2024. A new Pokemon remake or something else. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't need to be a remake, but something is coming from ILCA and Pokemon Works possibly this year. And we might get that very, very soon announced. Again, remember what he said here. Remember what he literally he said. He literally said that the domain has been registered by the Pokemon Company this month, so we should get an announcement soon. Again, the fact that they registered it now means that there's something that they're working on. Again, this studio has already existed, right? It probably already existed in the background secretly. They just didn't, bring it out. They just didn't announce it, right? And now, this is the same way as when they work on Pokemon games and we don't know about them in trademarks because they haven't trademarked them until, shortly before an announcement. That's usually, or slightly after an announcement, is when they actually, trademark them, even though the games have already been created or already in the works. So the same way here, this company may have already existed in some way, shape, or form with a bunch of people from the Pokemon Company going to ILCA. They already kind of were there. They already existed. It was already existing in the background. But now, finally now, it's time for them to register it and also announce it. And why? Because now they have something to announce. They have a game to announce. They have something to show. They have now a reason to trademark it, get the website up, get the company started up, get everything like rolling, and get it publicly out there so people can see. Also, for investors. Remember, this is not just about us as players. This is about investors. Getting the investors happy, telling them, hey, we have a new subsidiary. They're working on another game with ILCA. The last time we did a game with ILCA, we got 15.6 million sales, which made us an easy $1 billion dues. It's perfect. It's literally a perfect combo. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be pretty much it for this video. I thought I would make this one as an extra one for tonight. I think it's pretty hype. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.